A woman was fishing with her partner in a shallow river when he snapped a photo of her casting her line. It had been a peaceful weekend, just the two of them, completely alone. Or so they thought. But later that evening, while looking through their photos, they noticed something strange. On the other side of the river, partially hidden behind a thick tree, there appeared to be a figure, watching them. It looked like someone wearing a white mask, and possibly a hat. They hadn't seen anyone else the entire trip, and whoever, or whatever it was, never made a sound. Unnerved and unsure of what they had captured, the couple made a decision. They packed up their gear and cut the trip short. This clip surfaced online, showing a fisherman who allegedly caught a strange creature and placed it in a bucket for examination. It had visible gills along its sides, arms with small fingers, and uneven damaged teeth. But chances are high this is AI generated, right? In late January 2026, 13-year-old Austin Appleby became a national hero in Western Australia after saving his mother and two younger siblings from a terrifying ordeal at sea. The family, visiting from Perth, had gone kayaking and paddleboarding near Quindalup along the southwest coast. But suddenly, the weather turned. Strong winds swept them away from shore, pushing them farther and farther into open water. As panic set in, Austin made a decision that likely saved all their lives. He was able to paddle a short distance before his kayak took on water and sank. With no other options, the 13-year-old dove into the sea and began swimming. He covered nearly 2.5 miles, battling waves and currents for almost 4 hours. When he finally reached land, cold, exhausted, and barefoot, he didn't stop. Cold, exhausted, and barefoot, he then ran another 2 kilometers to find a phone and call for help. Rescue crews launched an urgent search, and after nearly 10 hours adrift, his mother and 2 siblings were found, 14 kilometers offshore. Thanks to Austin's courage, strength, and quick thinking, they all survived. On February 3rd, 2023, a man was enjoying a calm day at Lake Ranco in southern Chile, until he noticed something strange in the water. A long, dark creature was moving just beneath the surface, too far to identify clearly. Curious and unable to tell exactly what he was seeing, he recorded the sighting and later shared the footage online. That's when the debate began. Some viewers believed it could be a cryptid, a mysterious unknown animal. Others pointed out it resembled a seal or sea lion. Upon reviewing the footage, something interesting stood out. The creature appeared to spray water from its nostrils, suggesting it might be a mammal. And that clue may point us toward a logical explanation. Lake Ranco feeds into the Rio Bueno, a river that connects directly to the Pacific Ocean. And in Chile, there have been documented cases of elephant seals entering freshwater environments, including one in 2021, just 2 years earlier. So, could this simply have been a lost or curious elephant seal? Reddit user Pats9789 was fishing along a remote shore when they came across some trash. Among the debris, they found something disturbing. Dentures. Even if it might mean nothing, it felt extremely creepy to find that on a beach. Who did they belong to? On January 19th, 2025, a video was posted on a YouTube channel called Little John. It showed a man rock fishing in Ocoa, New South Wales. The man stood near the edge on wet, uneven rocks as the water moved below him. Rock fishing is dangerous because waves can strike without warning. A strong wave hit the rocks and swept him into the sea. He fell into rough water and struggled to stay above the surface. Bystanders remained on the rocks as he drifted in the current.
Yeah.
He stayed afloat until another wave pushed him back toward the rocks. Fortunately, he reached the edge and managed to climb out. But that could have ended very differently. A fisherman cast his line into the ocean and hooked something heavy that resisted in the water. As he reeled it in, the shape looked like a chainsaw, jagged teeth lining a long blade. But as it came closer, he realized it was a sawfish with a flat body and a long, toothed snout. Sawfish are marine animals that use their rostrum, lined with sharp teeth, to slash through schools of fish and stun prey. He had hooked a powerful wild animal instead of a common fish. The situation became dangerous as it neared the surface, but it seems they managed to release it. The ocean had delivered an unexpected and potentially hazardous catch. Since 2007, severed human feet have been mysteriously washing ashore along Puget Sound, from Vancouver Island all the way to Tacoma. At least 20 feet have been found, most of them inside sneakers. The strange pattern drew international attention and spread quickly online. As more feet were discovered, speculation grew. Was this the work of a serial killer, victims of a shipwreck? But after thorough investigation, coroners found no signs of foul play. So what's really happening? Experts say the answer lies in the cold waters of the Pacific Northwest, which average around 45 degrees Fahrenheit. When someone drowns, natural marine activity can separate the foot at the ankle over time. And because modern sneakers are made with lightweight foam, they float, allowing the feet to drift for miles before washing ashore. In several cases, DNA testing linked the feet to missing persons, many believed to have died by accident. Still, the idea of disembodied feet appearing along quiet beaches continues to disturb the public. Ryan Borgwart was a 45-year-old father of 3 living a quiet life in Wisconsin. To most, his world looked ordinary, stable, predictable. But in August 2024, he told his family he was heading out on a solo fishing trip. He packed up his gear and left home, but never returned. Later that day, his boat was found overturned. His phone and ID were left behind, floating near the surface, but there was no sign of Ryan. To authorities, it looked like a tragic accident, a drowning. They launched a massive search. Boats, helicopters, dive teams. For 89 days, they combed the lake, holding onto hope. But Ryan was gone. Except he wasn't. This wasn't an accident. It was a plan. Behind the scenes, Ryan had spent months preparing his escape. Investigators later uncovered that he had taken out a new life insurance policy, asked about moving money to foreign banks, cleared his browser history the day he vanished, applied for a replacement passport, and even undergone a vasectomy reversal. Prosecutors say it was part of his plan to start a new life. And the reason behind it all? A woman from Uzbekistan, whom he had met online. Ryan crossed into Canada, then flew to Georgia, the country, not the US state, where she was waiting. While his wife and children believed he had drowned, he was starting over on the other side of the world. But the plan didn't last. In October, investigators discovered Ryan's name had been run by Canadian police, just 2 days after he disappeared, a quiet clue. Then, in November, a Russian-speaking woman contacted authorities in Wisconsin and connected them directly with Ryan. Deputies soon received a video call. "Good evening, it's Ryan Borgwart," he said. "Today is November 11th. It's approximately 10 a.m. By you guys. I'm in my apartment. I'm safe, secure, no problem." The truth was out. In December, Ryan returned to Wisconsin voluntarily. He was arrested and charged with obstruction. His wife filed for divorce shortly after. And in August 2025, he stood before a judge. The sentence, 89 days in jail. 1 day for every day search teams had looked for him, and $30,000 in restitution to cover the cost of the search. That sentence was twice what prosecutors had asked for in the plea deal. In court, Ryan said, "I deeply regret the actions I did that night, and all the pain I caused my family and friends. But the damage was done." He didn't fake death to escape danger. He just wanted to walk away from his life and start a new one. A Reddit user received a photo from her husband while he was at work, just a casual shot of a goat. But when she looked closer, she noticed something strange in the background. Above the trees, something was floating in midair. It was a fish. The couple lives in central Pennsylvania, far from the ocean, but close to lakes and rivers. Some users offered the most likely explanation. A bird had caught the fish and accidentally dropped it mid-flight right as the photo was taken. Still, the timing was perfect. Locals in Malaysia were enjoying a day at the beach when they spotted something unusual near the horizon. A fast-moving object was cutting through the water. Its speed made the shape hard to define, and none of the witnesses could identify it. Fish can swim quickly, but this speed seemed far beyond that of typical marine life. In September 2016, 22-year-old Nathan Carman took a fishing trip off the coast of Rhode Island with his mother Linda, aboard his 31-foot boat. They left together on September 17th. Nathan was later found in a life raft about 100 miles south of Martha's Vineyard after 8 days at sea. Linda was never found and was later legally declared dead. Nathan told authorities the boat sank suddenly and he lost his mother in the water, but from early on his story drew suspicion. Investigators found unused bait in his car, evidence he made repairs to the boat that may have made it less seaworthy, and ocean data that didn't fully match his drifting claim. In May 2022, a federal grand jury in Vermont indicted Nathan on multiple charges, including first-degree murder in connection with Linda's death and several fraud counts, including an alleged scheme to collect inheritance and insurance money. Prosecutors also alleged he shot his grandfather, John Chakalos, in 2013 as part of that scheme, though he was never officially charged for the grandfather's killing. Authorities believe the alleged motive was access to millions in family wealth. Nathan pleaded not guilty to the murder and fraud charges, but before his case could go to trial, he died by suicide in his jail cell on June 15, 2023, at age 29. Charges related to his mother's death were dropped after his death, and the grandfather's murder remains an open investigation. We will never truly know. In September 25, off of the northern coast of Kerala near Azikal, India, a local fisherman pulled up 2 brass serpent idols in his net during a routine trip at sea. Each weighed roughly 11 pounds and was intricately crafted, resembling figures that might have belonged to a temple or served a ritual purpose. The fisherman brought the idols to shore and handed them over to the police in Tanur, who were unable to immediately explain how the objects ended up in the sea. Authorities launched an investigation, including the possibility that the idols could be stolen temple relics or offerings that had somehow made their way into the water. In Kerala and other parts of South India, serpent idols are connected with worship of serpent deities, and the region has a long tradition of serpent shrines and ritual objects linked to that culture. As of the latest reports, however, investigators had not yet determined exactly where the idols came from or how they entered the sea. No official conclusion on their origin has been announced. In 2015, someone recorded something strange in the River Tay near Tayport, Scotland.
Well, just leave it. Yes. But it's miles away.
The footage shows a dark shape rising and sinking into the water, slow, deliberate, and hard to identify. There's no head or tail clearly visible, and the overall size is difficult to judge. The clip was later shared online and quickly earned the nickname the Tayport Monster. As expected, viewers dove into the footage, analysing every frame. Some suggested it could be a large sturgeon, pointing to what looked like a ridged back, a feature common in these ancient fish. But others disagreed, arguing that the motion didn't match any known fish. There was no visible tail movement, and the body didn't sway side to side like most aquatic animals. So what did the camera really capture in those waters? Now, if you're enjoying my videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps me creating new stories every week, and it means the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. Ash Hay was a 44-year-old fisherman from the Gold Coast, experienced, passionate. It was just another quiet Thursday morning, or so it seemed. At 6:30 a.m., Ash left the Gold Coast Seaway aboard his vessel, the Grey Ghost. but when he didn't return that evening, friends and family grew concerned. By nightfall, they called for help. Police launched a search just hours later. Then, in the early morning darkness, at 2 a.m. Friday, his boat was found. The grey ghost was discovered 25 nautical miles southeast of the seaway, drifting. There was no sign of Ash, and they noted one life jacket was missing. The boat's emergency beacon, an EPIRB, was later found floating separately, 14 nautical miles off of the coast of Ballina, but it hadn't been activated. For the next 4 days, rescue teams searched relentlessly, covering more than 1,800 square nautical miles by sea and air, but there was nothing. On Sunday, the mission changed from rescue to recovery. That evening, the official search was suspended. The investigation into Ash's disappearance remains open. For those who knew him, the sea was Ash Hayes' second home, but now it's the last place he was ever seen. In 2022, an Australian deep-sea angler known as Trapman Berg-Magui pulled a shark from 2,130 feet below the surface. But it wasn't just any shark. The shark had bulging eyes, rough skin, and exposed teeth. Its curved mouth made it appear to be smiling. The image spread online and raised questions about its identity. The fisherman said it was a rough-skinned dogfish, a species found deeper than 600 meters. A marine researcher suggested it could be a deep-water kite-fin shark. The exact species was not confirmed, and the catch showed how little is known about sharks living at extreme depths. In 2018, John kayaked along the Columbia River and entered Rock Island Rapid, an area known for powerful whirlpools and narrow channels. As he moved into a constricted section, a large vortex formed directly in front of him, cutting off any safe exit. The current pulled his kayak along the outer edge of the whirlpool. The force reduced his control and drew the boat closer to the spinning center. A single miscalculation could have overturned the kayak. He adjusted his balance and kept the boat aligned with the flow. After several seconds under pressure, he moved past the vortex and exited the rapid. This mysterious video was recorded in what appears to be a swamp or mangrove. It shows a long, dark shape moving across the surface, then slipping underwater, making its full size unclear. It resembles a large aquatic snake or eel. Large snakes do live in swamps. Green anacondas are found in South America, Burmese pythons in Southeast Asia and the Florida Everglades, African rock pythons in sub-Saharan Africa, and northern water snakes in North America. Because the footage is limited and the exact location isn't known, the species cannot be confirmed. While out kayaking, this person noticed a massive ground-level opening in the water and paddled closer to get a better look.
Get a little bit closer? Holy crap, man.
The shaft appeared narrow and deep. There were no markings, signs, or barriers around it. At first, it looked mysterious, even dangerous. But after some digging, I found out what it really was. A bell mouth spillway. A massive engineered drain designed to control water levels and prevent flooding in reservoirs and dams. While ice fishing near the Finger Lakes in New York, a man saw a yellow glow rising into the night sky. It formed a tall, vertical beam visible from a distance. He photographed the light as it extended upward in a straight column. The source wasn't immediately clear from his location, and many people online speculated it was a beam from a UFO. However, the light was later identified as a light pillar. This optical effect occurs when natural or artificial light reflects off of flat, hexagonal ice crystals in cold air. The crystals reflect the light vertically, creating the appearance of a glowing column. Not so mysterious, but definitely magical. 2 women were fishing along the Mississippi River when a loud splash broke the calm water. They turned and saw something large rising beside their boat as the surface began to churn. Massive clawed limbs hooked into the fishing net hanging off the side. Only dark shapes and sharp claws were visible at first. The animal's weight pulled against the net and rocked the boat. An alligator snapping turtle surfaced, drawn by the fish inside the net. These turtles are rarely seen this close to boats, making the encounter even more unsettling. Its jaws open near the edge of the boat as it struggled against the mesh. The women loosened the net to stop the strain. Once released, the turtle slipped back underwater. While fishing at sea, some boaters captured a strange sight. On one side, the sun had dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow. On the other side, a round orange sphere appeared in the sky, almost like there were two suns. Was it the moon? Or could it have been an atmospheric refraction, where sunlight bends through layers of air in the horizon and creates a second visible image? A couple was fishing off of the coast of Ibiza when they spotted a strange, large circle floating in the water. Curious, they got closer and zoomed in with their phone.
What the fuck?
The circle appeared to be made of some kind of foam. Foam isn't unusual in the sea, but a perfectly round shape is. Normally, foam forms irregular patches and drifts with the current, but this circle stayed fixed and never changed shape. If you know what could have caused it to form so perfectly, let us know in the comments. Dee visited a beach known for repeated accidents in the water. Soon after arriving, she heard unusual sounds near the shoreline. The noises came from the water and moved closer to her position. She then heard a sudden splash. She pointed her flashlight toward the sound.
What the fuck is that?
In the light, she saw a pale figure standing in the water, shaped like a person dressed in white. The figure remained still as the water moved around it. She could not identify it. She left the beach immediately, unsure what she had witnessed. Whether it's real or not, it's a terrifying sight. This fisherman was reeling in the catches of the day when he noticed something strange at the bottom of one of the baskets. At first glance, it looked like a potato, but on closer inspection, it turned out to be a juvenile spongy crab, also known as a sponge crab. Found in the Atlantic Ocean, this species is known for carrying pieces of sponge or debris on its back, using it for camouflage and protection. It may not look like much at first, but it's a fascinating example of nature's built-in defense strategies. And for encounters like this, just dive into this next video.